I'm not familiar with Against Progress of the author in general at all. What's kind of the thesis? What's he working out through the book?
Um, it's sort of like the when I say this as a commonality, I don't mean that what they're actually talking about is the same, but I feel like there's probably a similar thing that happens. Like if you've ever heard of um Paul Bloom's book Against Empathy,
Mm-mm.
um, and I think people naturally, it's understandable. I mean, it's always tough with book titles. It happens with all kinds of titles, like Dawkins, The Selfish Gene, and like oftentimes people just sort of react to the title and they don't really understand the context of what's being talked about. I think I'm not too far into it, but the gist that I'm getting is he's essentially saying that it's tough with Zizek because he's got so much like sort of cultural history wrapped up in his work with sort of like being behind Iron Curtain and Leninism and Stalin and all this other kind of stuff. But he's pretty much making the argument where I'm at now that this sort of kind of anthropocentric view that we have when we look at history is one of that uh, we started from this very backwards place, and that there's been this really like steady arc of sort of progress, whether it be morally and technologically, and it's easy for us to sort of tell this story in retrospect. But he's sort of looking at the problems that we're facing, and a lot of which are existential ones, and essentially questioning our narrative and our current position, looking backwards at seeing progress as this sort of linear trajectory. And then he's sort of in a way, I guess he's like questioning the ability of what we've assumed was our arc of progress to actually deal with the problems that we're currently facing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not this like, oh, progress bad. It's not like that. It's essentially him saying like, look, we've sort of assumed that we have this like narrative arc as human beings that is going to carry us, eventually to a good place. And history kind of